We say what they can't radio.
Welcome back, family, to Melanated Universe.
You and I verse, yes.
Yes, let's do it. It's been a whole week, man.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
Yes, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like so much has been happening. It feels like a week went by, but I hope you guys had an awesome week. I hope you guys were very productive out there in this last week. We've been seeing a few more emails coming in, and I want you to keep on sending in your questions and comments.
Yes.
And even suggestions for stuff that you might want to talk about, stuff that can benefit the melanated community, you know?
Yeah, today's topic
Yes.
was actually brought to us by an email suggestion. But before we get into that, we just wanted to do our
Business shout-outs,
Yes.
melanated business shout-outs.
yes, absolutely. So
Yes.
today's first business shout out is a melanated corner store.
Yes, in Brooklyn.
Yes, it's on Troy,
Yeah.
the corner of Troy Ave and Sterling Place.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's owned by 3 guys.
Troy
If I'm not
Ave,
mis-
Sterling Place,
Yes.
corner store. We got a corner store, folks.
Facts. You know, we've been
We
talking
can't
about
keep
it for so
complaining.
long. Now we have our own bodega, corner store, whatever you want to call it, deli. It's there. So
Don't use the excuse that we don't know the name of it for the reason why you're not going to go.
it's on the corner. It's a
You
corner
know the
store
intersection.
on
It's
the
on the
corner of
All right. So
Troy
get,
Ave and Sterling Place. Yes.
get over there and help them out, support them.
Yes, absolutely. Once I find the name, I'll tag them on the video that we post,
yes.
so that you guys can go check them out. But I do have the name. I saw it on Facebook, so I'll look it up and let you guys know.
And for the family on Melanated Universe IG, let me let you know that I'll put the picture, because I also saw this as a picture on social media. That's how I became aware of it.
Right.
So I'm gonna repost that picture on Melanated Universe IG page in case you guys want to take a look at it yourself.
Right, and we'll also put it in Melanated Marketplace on Facebook as well too.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, and the second business we want to highlight. Well, I guess we can highlight that once we start talking about the topic, because it kind of correlates.
So what is today's topic?
Yes, what is today's topic? So our viewers wanted to talk about natural birthing versus hospital birthing.
Yes. Now, family, I don't know if you guys know, but my beautiful queen here, she is soon to be the mother of 4. And the first two experience, I didn't give birth. Okay.
You didn't? I thought we were pregnant.
No, we was pregnant, but we didn't give birth.
Oh.
I watched that part. Right. So, and that's just to give you all the credit. I ain't with no we in that. All right, you did that.
Okay,
All
thank you.
So, our first kid was born when I was in the military. I was in the
Yeah.
Army. So, he was born at a military hospital.
Yes, on the Army base.
At well, I ain't gonna tell y'all all that because you don't need to know all that. But it was Army base, and it was on a military hospital.
And let's talk about that experience.
Do we gotta go into all? We can skip forward to the baby part.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Because there might be some, first-time dads out there, expecting dads, and, they need to hear our journey so that they can know that they are not alone.
I don't like
They need
it.
to hear your journey.
I don't like it.
So that they know
I
that
was
they're
young,
not alone.
okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there because she keeps
So,
poking at it, right? So I'm gonna tell on myself. I ran out the house and went to the hospital and left everybody at home.
even me.
The first time.
I woke him up. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, and my water broke. And I woke him up to tell him that, my water broke. And he jumped out the bed and left. So I'm like, okay, he's getting the car ready. He's getting the bags while I get dressed, whatever. And I remember sitting on the couch, and my mother and my grandmother, because we weren't in New York at the time. We were living outside of New York. Mm-hmm. And my mother and my grandmother was like, well, where's Dwayne? I'm like, oh, he went to go get the car, I guess. So then finally he came back upstairs, and was like, yeah, come on, let's go. It wasn't until years later that he actually told us that he left us. I didn't even know that. Which I guess is a good thing, because I probably would have panicked.
All right. So that y'all can understand context, right? I was in the military. I had a long day, extra long day. All right. It was like a very long day I had that day. And we went to sleep late because the in-laws was there and my mom was there. So we went to sleep a little bit late. And I had just went to sleep. I know I got get up and exercise before the sun come up, right? And it's already like, almost midnight. So when she woke me up, it was like almost 1 in the morning. And I wasn't functioning right yet. So she goes, oh, yeah, the baby's coming. My water broke. And I think I might have rolled back over and went to sleep. I'm not sure if I got it the first time.
That part I don't remember. I just remember you shooting up out of the bed.
I do remember, like, it processed. And then it took a little bit to process. And once it processed, I was like, oh, shit, baby coming. And I remember we had the to-go bag and we had a plan and everything, right? And I was supposed to take the to-go bag down to the car. And I shot out the bed and I grabbed the to-go bag and I got in the car and I drove out the park.
Leaving me was definitely not part of the plan.
And I got to the gate of the base and I realized I was by myself. The good thing is it wasn't far from home, so I just made a U-turn and went back.
Yeah, it was like 5 minutes. I think.
And I came back upstairs and, I kept that one to myself for a long time. But all right, so I told myself, yeah, I ran off and left the baby and the wife.
But the hospital experience was, the staff was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, the staff was really, really good. My labor though was so long. It was 16 hours from the time my water broke to the time we actually had him. So when we got to the hospital, they admitted me because my water broke. I had no contractions, but because my water broke, they had to admit us. So that's what made the whole process like really, really long, versus me like staying at home until I got close enough to delivery and then coming in, which would probably would have been
better,
a
more
lot
comfortable.
better. Yeah, because 16 hours laid up in the bed, and then I had
and then you're
the epidural
on the bed, flat.
I had gotten the epidural, so I couldn't get up anymore.
Gravity isn't working to push the baby down.
So yeah, that part wasn't really fun. But
we did the epidural,
Yeah, but taking the epidural, I didn't feel any contractions at all. Like I don't remember feeling contractions at all. And I remember the nurse and the staff would keep coming in to check on us. Well, check on me and the baby. And we were like in there singing.
Yeah, we were
just
acting
like,
silly, cracking
jokes. Like a
and
really
stuff.
good time. And they was like, "Are you sure you're in labor?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I feel good. I feel fine." So yeah, that experience was good. I loved after we had him. They in the Army they give you like a meal. Like they have like a menu that you choose from, like a restaurant menu.
Nice stuff.
And mother and father gets a dinner. And it was a shrimp and steak dinner. And I got to
stay in the room. Like, there was no one telling me I had to leave the room at any point.
Yeah, there was, like, a chair that kind of folds into, like, a futon kind of thing.
Right. So I was able to sleep there. My sergeant at the time, he was like, hey, look, handle your business. Let me know when you are dead. So, that was one of the good things.
Right. Like I said, the food was really, really good. They were very big on feeding you. I remember I had fried chicken when I was there. I had the shrimp and steak dinner.
Like they treated you like
throughout the day. It was like a hotel.
Yeah, like you were in a hotel. Like you got the service was excellent. In that military hospital, and it kind of spoiled us. Because we thought that's what it was all the time. And, I mean, did you want to say anything else about that particular one?
No, not really, except just the food was so good.
All right, because, they were very accommodating, right? Now, second baby comes along. I'm out the military.
Right, and we had moved back to New York.
Moved back to New York, and we're expecting something similar.
Right.
So, let's talk about this pregnancy and how it was different towards the end than the first pregnancy. I mean, and pertaining to like, you didn't go into natural labor this time.
Oh, right. So with this one, I kept getting like contractions for like a couple of weeks. So my doctor, my OB was like, well, since it's your second baby, we can induce you. I was young. I was like 25.
And we didn't have any guidance.
So I was just like, oh yeah, all right, get this kid out. So I think they induced me like a week and a half or something like that early. And
when they induce, it means they put a chemical called Pitocin in you.
Right.
All right.
And that was actually, it wasn't pleasant at all. Because from what rumors has it, and I can attest to it, when you induce, the contractions are a lot worse than when your body naturally goes into labor. Because even though I had the epidural, I was still feeling the contractions this time in comparison to the first time. And it was not comfortable at all.
I remember.
And because I had the epidural, I couldn't get off the bed.
Right.
So I'm like laying there and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so painful. Like, it was horrible. And
that was our daughter, and she wasn't even as big as our son.
Right, she was a little smaller. And the staff...
The staff sucked.
In
my opinion.
Not all of them. Some of them were nice.
Because they weren't friendly. They weren't friendly at all. They kind of talked at you instead of with you, right? Like they treated Chanel like she was like not a human being. You know what I'm saying? Like a job. And I didn't like that aspect. And then there was kind of like a culture at that particular hospital. I think it's closed down now.
Yeah, they closed.
It was like they I wasn't allowed in the room except for a limited amount of time. And
when I was delivering? Yeah, you were.
No, not during the delivery. I'm talking about after you had the baby.
Oh.
Like they had rules on how long I could stay,
right.
And I had to get out and.
Because both times I shared a room with someone, but the second time they didn't want you to stay because they said there was another woman in the room. But the first time,
what the hell that got to do with me and my goddamn wife?
And there was a curtain because each time I was by the window.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember we had a curtain where you could have pulled, and her curtain, both their curtains was pulled for both different women. So I didn't understand like what the big deal was.
But we were young, and it was easy for people with titles.
Yeah, so I remember I stayed in the hospital by myself. Mm-hmm. She was born Friday night, so I stayed there Friday and Saturday night by myself.
I was there for the birth.
Yeah,
but then she
everyone had to leave.
Right,
yeah.
Everybody else had to leave. And I'm like, well, why?
And in both cases, we did have family there.
Mm-hmm.
My mother and my grandmother was there for the first one. The second one, it was my mother.
My mother was there too.
No, she wasn't. She came after.
Oh, she came the day after, or something like that. Yeah. You're right.
The second one, it was my mother, my sister, and my friend at the time, our neighbor.
Yeah.
And your mother didn't come for that one either. I think she came. She picked us up from the hospital.
I'm gonna tell you the funny story about that one, right? So I was so connected, right? I was so connected with the missus on that pregnancy, right? That I used to get the pains. I used to go through what she was going through, right? Don't laugh too hard at me, right? I'm sharing. So she's on the bed and she starts pushing and my belly start hurting. And then she'll start to push again and then my belly is starting to hurt again. You know what I mean? And then I had the bubble guts because it's like that's what it felt like. It felt like the bubble guts was coming, right? So I go in her room. They had a bathroom. So I'm in the bathroom, but she's in labor, and I don't want to miss it. So my head is out the door, and my butt is on the seat, right? And every time she push, I'm in there like, huh? I hear the doctor telling her push. I'm like, oh. Because I'm trying to hurry up and get back.
Like, what are you nervous about? I'm doing all the work.
Look, I don't handle anxiety well, okay? I'm one of those people that when the anxiety happens, I get the bubbles.
It affects your stomach.
And my stomach just be uncooperative when the anxiety hit. Usually I'm good, you know. I usually don't get a lot of anxiety, but when it does come around, it's like, ugh.
And I'm the opposite. I'm like good with that kind of stuff as far as like the way my body reacts.
My wife is... My child is ripping itself out of my wife. That's how a man sees it. It's really not, you know, you don't learn. I didn't learn it to look at it as something beautiful initially. It's like,
It
what
is-
the
it is
hell
a-
is that?
It is a beautiful thing, but it's also
What are you doing?
it can also be very traumatizing. My sister actually saw, like, as the second baby was coming out, and to this day she's like, I'm so and she's a nurse, and she's like, I'm so traumatized. Like, and this was what 11 years ago almost, and she's still like, no,
Yeah.
I never want to see that ever again in life. I actually saw it once.
When I recorded it.
No,
you mean in
like
person?
in person,
Oh.
yeah. My friend was having a baby, and like I saw when the baby was coming out, and the whole thing, it just opens up like those,
Like a monster.
you know, like the Venus flytrap.
Like a monster.
How
Like
it,
I
how
said.
it like it opens up and it like swallows, you know, whatever the insect is. It kind of reminds me of that, and it's just. And it happened so quick. I just stood there and she's screaming, and I just stood there like, what the heck is that? And then the baby just comes like flying out like a torpedo. It was very disturbing, but I was glad I got to experience it. But I don't want to see it again ever in life. I told our daughter, I said, you know, if you ever have kids, I was like, I'll be there, but I never want to look at that ever again.
I like to be above the sheet. That's what I like. I
don't
to
know
be
how
above the
doctors and midwives do it, but yeah, I'm not doing it.
What? But let's talk about the last baby now.
The last baby.
The last baby,
the third baby, not the last.
Well, yeah, not the last.
The third baby.
The third baby.
That was a completely different.
We were different people.
experience.
We were
Yeah.
different people. You know, we started to wake up.
Fast forward 9 years.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, 9 years later. We started to wake up, you know, we more health conscious.
Right.
You know,
We're very conscious of what we put in our body now.
no prenatals.
Nope.
It was eating healthy diet to get the right amount of nutrients.
Let's talk about the prenatals.
Yes. Why is it they force prenatals on you?
I don't know. They said they told me
Why is it
that
they use fear tactics
the baby,
to get you
the
to-
baby needs it
We
for
actually
their development.
remember that one lady that was like, you cannot get the necessary amount of vitamins from diet. You have to take these. And we looked at her like she was crazy. She
Yeah.
was melanated, so already, you know, we were suspicious.
Yeah, I remember when I was pregnant with the first baby, and I was on the army base, and I went to get a pregnancy test. And you know, I peed in the cup or whatever, and I sat in the waiting area, and I sat there for a while. And I'm like, why is it taking so long? So finally I went up, and I'm like, hey, you know, I'm looking for my results. And she was like, okay, hold on. And she left, and she came back, and she put a bottle on the counter. So, you know, I'm young. I'm like 22, 21. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, that's mine? She said, yeah. So I took it, and I put it in my bag. I'm like, okay. So I started to walk away, and I'm like, Chanel, you don't even know what the hell you just took.
Right.
Like, so I go back, and I'm like, okay, what is this? Like, what did you just give me? She was like, oh, prenatals.
And why wouldn't you explain that to a
So
young
I was
mother?
like, okay, so does that mean yes, I'm pregnant? And she was like, oh yeah, no one told you. And I'm like, no, I've been waiting for like a half an hour. Like
Wow.
no one said anything to me. You just came and gave me a bottle of pills and sent me on my way. So she was like, yeah, you're pregnant, so those are prenatal vitamins. Take one a day, blah, 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 whatever. And I remember I started to take them for months. And then coming down to the end, I couldn't do it anymore. It was just too much. Like, first of all, it was back then I couldn't even swallow pills.
Yeah, I remember that.
So it was difficult for me to swallow pills. It makes you constipated. Sorry, I have to talk about that. But you know, it's very difficult taking prenatal pills because it just doesn't work well with the human body, I think.
Maybe it didn't work well with melanated bodies.
Like,
mean,
yeah,
I'm
I
just
didn't like
throwing
it
that
at all.
out there.
It made me nauseous.
I'm
I
not a
wanted to
doctor.
throw up. So I just stopped taking them after. I remember back then you was like, but you have to take them. The doctor said you have
That's
to
what
take
the
it.
doctor said.
And I'm like, I
right?
don't care. So
they
I started,
must know what
so
they're
I
talking
started to
about.
lie to you. You took your vitamins today? I'm like, knowing good and well I didn't take it.
Wow.
Like, I didn't like it. It made me feel sick. So I stopped taking it. So with the third baby, we decided we weren't going to take prenatals at all. And I remember maybe like...
Just pay very close attention to diet to make sure that you're getting...
Right, and at this
what you
point, I was switching over into
To
being
vegan.
vegetarian.
Right.
I wasn't eating meat anymore.
Right.
I would eat seafood, but I wasn't eating like chicken, beef, or anything like that. And I remember I was about 6 or 7 months pregnant, and I went to the doctor for my checkup, and it was It wasn't even my regular midwife. And this was actually at a birthing center.
Right.
And it was my midwife. And then she was asking me about my folic acid.
Mm-hmm.
Am I taking my prenatals? And I was like, no, I'm not. So she was like, well, what about your folic acid? You need that. I said, well, can I get that from foods? So she's like, well, yes, but you're not going to get the necessary amount that you need.
Really?
So I asked her, I was like, well, is my labs abnormal? And she was like, I already knew the answer.
Right.
And she was like, no, your labs are great. I said, well, obviously, me eating the right fruits and vegetables and grains is working for me. So I declined. I'm not taking the prenatal vitamins. She tried to use like a scare tactic. But
and they push it. And they push it. Like, I'm sorry. I'm a skeptic. If someone is constantly pushing something on me, I got to ask the question, why?
Right.
Because any other time you don't try to assist me, so why now?
Yeah, I was just like, no, I'm not taking it.
And humans have been on this planet for quite some time.
And turns out he ended up being the biggest baby we
Correct.
had.
Correct.
No drugs.
Healthy.
No medication, anything. And he was 8 pounds, 4 ounces.
Yes.
And we did
natural
it at
birth.
a birthing center. No epidural.
She actually gave birth in a jacuzzi tub.
Yeah, it was in a tub, in water.
Yes.
The entire family was there. The kids.
The kids were there.
Yeah.
My daughter learned a lesson that I could never teach her. Do you know she saw it happen and she looked later, Dad, I'm never having kids.
Yep, she said that.
And in that moment on the inside, I was like, there's no sexual education class that I can give you to get that message of what this is like across. You got it firsthand.
She says, I saw how your pregnancy was and how you had to give birth. She was like, I'm not having kids. No way. You know?
Of course that'll change.
And I was like, okay.
But for right now, okay.
But I'm not going to lie. You know, I felt the actual labor part being in
the water
was very soothing compared to being like in a bed.
And she was able to eat. Like, you know, when you go to the hospital, they stop you from eating, right? She was able to eat right up until the moment of labor.
Right. I mean, I wasn't hungry, but yeah, I was able to eat.
Like, and
eat
walk around. And if she wanted to sit on the couch, lay on the couch, sit on the bouncy ball. You know what I mean? I don't know what you call that bouncy ball, but it's a big old bouncy ball. You know what I mean? And, or whatever you want to do. You want to lay on the bed, you want to lay on the couch, you want to go in the water. What you want to do? What's comfortable for you?
But it was a beautiful experience. Now, it was beautiful and traumatizing all at the same time. I wouldn't say traumatizing, but it was beautiful. What I loved about it was the fact that when my son, the third baby, was born, he had a mind of his own, and he was ready to come out on his time and nobody else's.
Yes.
I remember feeling like I had to push. And the midwife came to check me, and she's like, well, you're only 9 centimeters. You can't. And I'm like, well, I can, and I will.
like, this ain't negotiable.
Like, this is not my first rodeo. I know when this kid is coming, and he's coming right now. So at 9 centimeters, he was bearing down to come out, and I had to push. So he came out at 9 centimeters.
And he came right up in the water.
Yeah.
And swam up to the top.
Yeah.
It's like magic, man. Babies come out and they know how to swim. They just go right to the top of the water.
And it was so beautiful because then they immediately put the baby on you.
Right.
You're still in the water, and they're like rubbing his back, trying to get him to cry, and he wouldn't cry. He was
good though. But
he was fine. He just didn't want to cry.
And they told me I made it up, but he was looking around. They was like, "Oh yeah, you can't see stuff yet."
No, he really was looking around though.
He was looking around. He tracked me across the room after they put her and him on the bed, and I walked from one side of the room to the other. He tracked me across the room, turned his head, and he's looking at me.
The room is set up like a bedroom. So you have the jacuzzi tub, and then right next to it you have the bed.
Right.
The lights are turned down low. The temperature.
You got the music with the water in the background.
The temperature is whatever you want the room to be. And they helped us out of the tub, and we laid on the bed. Like the whole family was on the bed.
It was a big bed. It was like a king size bed.
Yeah, the kids, my mother, your mother was there. Like it was really nice.
And they don't cut the cord right away.
Right.
They take the placenta out,
hours.
and they put the baby with the cord and the placenta
on the bed
on you. Like the placenta's off to the side on a chuck, right?
Yeah.
But they say that there's a lot of nutrients because the placenta got like a heartbeat.
Right.
And it keeps pumping nutrients into the baby long after the birth.
Right.
But when we hurry up and cut that cord, the baby's missing out on all those nutrients.
Correct.
Do you know that and people don't talk about this. Do you know that black placentas sell for an amazing amount of money?
Yeah. Placenta in general, but especially
black placentas, melanated placentas sell
Right.
for a large amount of money. And we don't know that. We just say, okay, here, have it.
Yeah. We don't know what they do
We
with
don't
it.
we don't understand. Like there's a lot of nutrients in there that when they cut that cord too early, those don't get pushed out to the baby.
Now, I'm not sure. In the hospital now, I think you can ask for it,
Yeah.
but they don't give it to you like in its raw form. They'll put it in like a pill form or something.
And how do you know that is what
Right.
it is?
Correct. But, when you do it at natural birth at home or at a birthing center, they actually give it to you.
The actual,
Like-
it's yours.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want with it.
Well, we looked up some things to do with it, and I planted it.
Some people eat it.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna eat it.
Yeah, you can eat it.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna go. That part was. Just,
We thought about it, but we couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's just. I ain't that developed yet.
I'm like,
I ain't that developed
I'm
yet.
like, well, what if we put a lot of complete seasoning on it
Oh no.
and onions and stuff?
I'm not doing it.
Nah, I can't do it.
Cannibal. So what I did was I planted it.
In the backyard, yeah.
Yeah, I planted it in a plant pot.
And then the dog kept digging it up or something.
But then the dog kept trying to dig it up. So
The
you
dog wanted some placenta. He knew it was good.
I just wasn't gonna leave it there.
Right. But yeah, that was an amazing experience. And also there's something called, I think it's, what is it? The white stuff on the baby skin.
Yes.
Lauren,
Babies come out with
I can't think of the name of
that
it.
white solution. on it.
Yeah, and they said that's actually works as antibiotics.
Yes.
So they do not recommend that you wash
Wipe
it off
right away.
And in the hospital, they usually
As soon
take
as
the
baby come out, they clean them
and
up, wipe
scrub
all
it
that
off.
stuff off.
I remember I didn't give the baby a bath until his umbilical cord fell off. Like I didn't wash him
Because they
like,
weren't supposed to get that area wet.
because I didn't want to wash off his antibiotics.
That is true. And he didn't get sick.
No, he doesn't
Like,
get
he's
sick.
probably been one of the most healthy of our
Yeah,
children.
the only time he gets sick is when he's teething, and technically it's not really him getting sick.
It's just his sinuses, It's not-
Like he'll get a cold or something because he's teething. But yeah, no, and he was very strong. I remember when I took him to the doctor for his first prenatal visit, he was like a couple of days old. Like she was impressed at how big and strong he was. And like I said, it was no epidural, no prenatal vitamins. We didn't give him that bath right away.
He had a lot of energy. Here's something that we don't think about, right? Mom is connected to baby. Mm-hmm. Mom gets epidural. What's an epidural?
Drugs.
It's a drug. It's going to make you lazy. It's going to make you not feel pain.
Lethargic.
It's lethargic.
Mm-hmm.
So when the baby comes out, we're so accustomed to seeing lethargic babies, we think that's normal. Because everyone is having the same process done.
That's true.
Have a live birth and have a natural birth and see the difference in how your child behaves.
Yeah.
They're active. They look around. They like, what's going
Because
on
the
out
first
here in
two
this
babies-
world?
The first two babies slept a lot when
Yes,
they were first born.
because they got drugs in them.
Yeah, but then the third one, like he was so alert. He started talking, remember? My sister was holding him and she was talking to him and he was maybe an hour old, I kid you not.
It made a noise.
And he was cooing with her and we was like shocked, like, wait, what
Like,
is
stop the
happening
music
right now? Why is this baby talking?
But that's actually
And
probably
she's
what's
talking,
normal, and
he's
we're not
cooing
accustomed
right
to
back
it.
with her, and I was like, "Oh, snap!" Like
Now, look, let's talk about it. Right? I didn't see many melanated people there
yeah,
at the natural birthing center. I didn't see many of them, and apparently not many of them go there.
right.
But what is it that those other people know that we don't know? I'm just asking questions. Because her recovery time was a lot quicker.
Yeah, I went home in 4 hours.
She had the baby, and we went home with the baby in 4 hours.
He's like, "What?"
Like, do you understand? Same day baby at home with family.
Yeah. And then there was a nurse that came to the house, I think the next day or two, to check on me and the baby. Like she made a home visit. Yeah, it was
Like, Come on now.
It
And you
was
don't need
amazing.
to be wealthy to do stuff like that.
And you know what I found? I got a lot more rest with that baby compared to the first two. With the first two, you hear so many stories about babies getting switched at birth in the hospital
Yeah.
and kidnapped. So they give you the choice. Do you want the baby to stay in the room with you, or do you want the baby to go into the nursery? I was like, leave my kids right here.
Mm-hmm.
So for the first two, I always had them in the room with me. And I'm exhausted because, it's just me. No one's there.
Right.
Every time the baby cries, I'm like, wait, what?
And you still recovering.
And then I'm on edge. I'm like, okay, is somebody going to come in here and steal them? So I'm trying to sleep with like one arm like on top. It was just nerve wracking. But on the third one, because I was at home, I was able to just sleep. I remember you guys would bring him in, I would feed him, and then I would hand him back, and then I would roll over and go right back to sleep.
First of our children, that was 100%
beautiful.
breastfed.
Yes.
100%
No
breastfed.
formula. None.
Yes.
None at all. And like I said, and he's
super healthy.
He's 1.5, and he looks like a 2-year-old.
Yes.
Like he's a big, strong kid.
See his little muscles cut up on him and stuff.
And he's not overweight. Muscles? Yeah. He's well defined. He's not overweight at all. He's healthy.
Very active.
Healthy and happy.
Yeah.
Compared to the first one.
And now go ahead.
Well, now I was going to say, and at the end of the pregnancy, I found out there's something called a doula. And I didn't know what a doula was. I'm like, what's a doula? Oh, you know how I found out about it? I was in Walmart one day, and this woman comes up to me, and it was a melanated woman, and she was asking me about, do I have a doula? And I'm like, a what? I don't even know what aisle you can find that in. She's like, no, like I'm a doula. And then she started to explain to me what it was, which is like a birthing coach.
Right.
So I'm like, kind of like Lamaze class. And she was like, no, it's just that we give you techniques, before and during labor to kind of like keep you calm, relax, make it a easier process for you. Right. And I was like, oh, okay. And I started to read up on it a little bit and found that, it was very useful to have a doula when you're giving birth.
Now, see, I'm from the West Indies, right? I'm from the Caribbean. And it was common, like 2 generations ago, for there to be some elder woman in your neighborhood or in your family that knows how to deliver a child at home.
Right.
And they would coach the young female, or the female period, through that process and address any concerns and comfort and be kind of like a comforter in the midst of that experience, that traumatic experience. So doula is just another name for that person that fills that slot, that does that for the woman, And I just learned it, so I like talking like I knew it. But I'm just like, I just learned that
like a moment ago.
Yes. So I'm very proud of this new knowledge that I got. Right. And a midwife is different. A midwife deals with like the procedural aspect. Right. She'll deal with the procedure, and the doula will deal with the person. Right.
Right.
Like the emotional person.
But what I love about midwives is that they're more holistic. Like, they don't really push too much medicines on you. I love that about midwives. Of course, some do, like the one that was encouraging me to take the prenatal pills or whatever. But there are lots of them that don't. We actually just met 2 women who are doulas. Yes, they are doulas, and
melanated females.
Yes, and I'm really excited about it because we need more of those in our community.
Correct. I was saying we need a melanated birthing center because my experience with that birthing center was amazing.
Yes.
But then I still had my reservations because,
right.
we live in this system, right? So, being that I promote doing for ourselves, right? And rebuilding that idea of Black Wall Street, right? Then we need we need birthing centers in our communities. We need more doulas in our communities.
And why
we need more
midwives
in our community.
Our young, girls or boys, because boys can be doulas.
Yes.
Why are they not teaching them how to be doulas and midwives?
That's a necessary skill, and
they're pushing everyone to be an RN. You got to be an RN.
Right.
You gotta be an RN. Okay, what about being a doula? That is just as important.
And
in my opinion.
Correct.
Or even a midwife is extremely important.
Correct.
Because I actually spoke to a woman who had a home birth.
Mm-hmm.
Like the doula and the midwife
In the
came
actual
to her
home.
apartment, and they
Right.
set it up. They ordered food for them,
Mm-hmm.
and when the whole thing was done, they cleaned up for them.
Our jacuzzi tub
While
ain't that big. So.
Mom and dad was able to bond with the baby.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, by the time it was over, you couldn't even tell that it was just like World War III. A few
Right.
minutes ago.
Right.
By the time they were done,
Cleaned up and gone.
yeah, and she loved the experience.
Mm-hmm.
It was her first kid, so she was in labor for some hours, like I was.
Right.
But being able to be at home was what brought her comfort.
Mm.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It's like how you went home the same day.
Yeah, 4 hours.
Like you had the baby and you slept in your bed that night.
Yes, and it felt good.
That was awesome. Now, I think
I
your
was able to
recovery.
eat whatever I wanted
I think
to.
her recovery from this birth your recovery
a lot
was
better.
faster than the first two.
And because I was breastfeeding, that also helped a lot as
Yes,
well.
that's when they don't tell. Breastfeeding speeds up birth recovery, people.
It
They don't
does.
tell us that. They don't tell us that. Hold up.
Yeah. You can ask your
what if our
question.
guys here got a question? Let's get that question.
What about like as far as bleeding and stitching up?
Oh, okay. So he wanted to know what about like bleeding and stitching up after you have the baby. So while I was at the birthing center, they stitched me up.
Yeah. The
Um,
stitching is not
well, the
like
bleeding-
one or two sutures. It's small.
No, I had more than 1 or 2. Remember, I pushed at 9 centimeters.
Oh yeah, that's
It
right.
was more than 1
For
or 2.
that last one.
It was
But
more like 10. But they did it at the birthing center.
immediately after you give birth.
Right.
That's when this happens. Like they're right there.
And it was funny 'cause
you
everybody
take
was in the
baby
room.
out, and then the stitches took all about 30 seconds,
Yeah,
a minute.
they numbed
real
the area,
quick.
just like
yeah,
in the
they
hospital.
injected
They
it,
numbed it.
so she didn't feel it, and then they went ahead and
Yeah.
stitched real quick,
And the whole
and that's
while-
done.
Was I holding the baby?
And then when they put her on the bed, they got the chuck underneath,
right.
And I don't think the thing came out right away, the afterbirth.
No, that doesn't come out right away. They
So
have
for me, this was very weird because I had never seen this before. I never been in that situation where the baby was on mommy and the cord was going inside mommy, and everybody was just chilling. Like that was kind of because I never knew that was normal, right? And then she gave birth to the afterbirth, right?
Who cut the cord? You remember who cut the cord?
I cut the cord, didn't I?
No,
No,
it wasn't you.
Champ cut the cord.
Yeah.
Yes, my
Our
son
son,
cut
yeah.
the cord. And he was like, he was
Like,
like, yo, he was blown away. He was blown away. He was 13 at the
Yeah.
time. Was he 13 or 12?
He was probably like 12.
Yo,
yeah,
he
he
was
was 12.
He was blown away, man. He was like, he cut his baby brother cord. And to
Yeah.
this day, they like this. Look,
Yeah.
He be going to his big brother, like,
Yeah.
I want my big brother to pick me up.
And you know who else he's very close with, the baby? My sister. Because remember, she was one of the first ones, outside of me and you, she was one of the first ones that held him.
That handled him, yeah.
As soon as he was born. And I think that created a bond that they have to this day.
Mm.
Like, if it's me and her in the room, he's choosing her. Put it like that. And I mean, I don't feel no shade. I'm like, okay.
I ain't gonna lie though,
Like,
man.
I'm like, you're baby number 3, so it's cool. If it was baby number 1, I would have felt some type of way. But okay, I'm good.
With him is different because he got a very warrior spirit, right? He got a very warrior spirit, and it speaks to me because I think I was the same way as a kid. Like he likes to challenge a lot, right? And I see me and him, and I can speak that language. Like we can speak the same language. So it's like. Let me share something with you, man. As a business owner, I highly encourage people to entertain the idea of what can I do as a separate stream of income from my job. No matter how small the stream is, even if you could set up $3 a week coming in from something you're doing, it's better than nothing. Do something. Find a mentor. There are plenty of business owners out here that need help. Go volunteer your help so that you can learn something that can feed you and your family for generations. Like, I have the freedom to watch my baby grow, to be with him as he grows. Like yesterday, we were at one of my wife's events.
Right, our open play.
Her open play. Now that's her business, but I'm there. My son is there.
The baby.
The baby. All of them are there actually.
Yeah.
All of my kids are there. And I go and I'm spending time with my son. And at the same time, I met another father that was a melanated father, and we bonded and we talked and we chopped it up. And in that moment, I had a kind of like outside myself moment where I looked at it and I was like, wow, you are blessed to be able to have the opportunity to do this every day.
Yeah.
Like make my businesses revolve around my life instead of my life revolving around a job, right? Like looking at our son, we was looking at him this morning and we were saying, yo, wow, look at how emotionally balanced he is. Look how happy he is. He wakes up every day with mommy and daddy at his disposal, and we're not gone for too long. You know, I mean, some days you got to go. You might have a bunch of appointments, you know, on that particular day because that's just the way the cookie crumble, or a long event, you know. But the average day is spent together, you know, and bonding and taking walks.
And let's not talk about our village. We have a village of people.
Yes.
That hey, E. Warren just joined and says hi.
Oh, Heels in High Places. What's up?
We have our village that helps us a lot. So when
we do have a village.
He's not with us, he's with my mother who's retired.
Yes.
Or he's with my sister who's pretty much, you know, kind of sort of self-employed. Kind of sort of.
Right.
So we have a team of people. Actually, you know,
and then if you spread out a little bit further, our village, we got other
I was just gonna say
like-minded melanated people that share our ideals.
He has his godparents who was able to watch him, I think, on Friday.
Yes.
They're self-employed, so they were able to watch him for a little while.
Because we had to go out and handle some business.
Right, we had a business appointment, so they were able to watch him for a little while.
Yep.
Why? Because we all work for ourselves, so we had that flexibility to just be like, okay, you know, if this person can't do it, this person can do it.
Right.
And
hey,
and
we got an
what
appointment.
a village is
You
all
guys got
about.
anything going? Can you just keep the kids for a little bit? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And they friends. Our kids and their kids are friends. So when they get
Right,
together,
they're family.
it's a play date.
Yeah. So, the whole point is, back to our original point, natural birth versus a hospital birth.
Right.
Me personally, from my personal journey, I recommend for myself a natural birth any day.
We gonna do it again.
Yep. This baby, we just, like I said, we just met 2 doulas.
Yep.
Actually, I'm going to give you their IG name.
Yes. Absolutely.
So their IG name is Super Mama Birth. So it's Super MAMMABIRTH.
And if you're out there in our IG stream, if you can type that out, please, I really appreciate it.
Yes.
Can you spell it out again?
It's Super MAMMABIRTH. That's their
Super
IG.
Mama Birth.
Yes. And we'll also tag it once we post the actual video. We'll tag it so that you guys can follow, you guys can reach out to them. If you guys have any questions, if you guys yourselves are looking for doulas, you can reach out to them.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
It's two melanated women.
Yes.
That run that program. And
highly ambitious. I love it. And they want to help the community.
I was going to say
they
that.
They do work. They give back.
Yep.
Oh, go ahead.
They just recently had a community baby shower. I think last week. And they're having another one in July. So once they send me that information, actually I have a few people that I know that are having baby showers, community baby showers. So once I get their actual information and the dates, we'll post it up here. We'll post it on our personal pages, so you guys can support. They're always looking for baby items to be donated. So if you guys want to reach out to us, that's fine, and we'll connect you with donating the items to them.
Yes.
Or, you can reach out to them directly. They're Super Mama Birth, so you can reach out to them directly. Who else? That's it,
Community baby showers, man.
Yeah,
look
it's
at that.
It's
like
amazing.
these 2 young ladies are doing amazing things, and then anytime I see melanated people doing things to rebuild our community, I got to give you a shout out. Take my hat off to you. and then I'll assist in whatever way I can.
Correct.
You know, call these ladies. You know, if you're thinking about having a baby.
Yes. And
Not even, you don't got to be pregnant right now. You could be thinking about having a baby.
And they can even
look
talk
at your
to
options.
you about, right, they can talk to you about what your options are.
Yes.
Because they do have some knowledge in midwifery.
Yes.
Did I say that right?
Midwifery. Yes.
They
that's
do
what it
have,
said.
knowledge in that field as well. So you guys can reach out to them for any questions about, natural birth, childbirth, whatever.
Yes.
You guys can even reach out to us.
Yeah.
Now, we're not professionals, but we can give you
I
our
am not
personal,
a medical professional. All I can do is I can refer you to people who I believe have done great service for me.
Yeah, we can give you our personal journey on, what we did, what worked for us, what didn't work for us. And you are absolutely welcome, E3 Warren.
But they are very knowledgeable. That's how I found out the difference between a doula and a midwife.
Yes.
They taught me that. I got to give credit where credit is due. So now I can tell all you guys like if I've been known it.
You're so annoying.
All right. Hey, I gave the credit. At least I gave the credit. They're amazing. They're amazing. I look forward to seeing them do great things.
So we're on baby number 4, as most of you guys know, and it's a girl.
A girl. And she be in there shadow boxing like this. Wifey be she look at the belly. The belly look like something out of a crazy movie. Like,
Now I'm not gonna lie. Even though I had a natural birth, a year and a half ago, I'm still nervous.
You always gonna be nervous.
I'm still nervous because I think I'm more nervous about the contractions. It's funny because this is my 4th birth, my fourth baby, but it's my second natural birth. It's gonna be my second time feeling contractions. So I'm still a little bit nervous about that. Like them contractions is nobody's business. There's no joke. I was actually talking to a mother who just had a kid. He was 2. And we were just joking, like, you actually forget the pain, the torture, the long, hard days of being pregnant after you have that baby.
It's a magic trick nature plays on you.
Yeah, it's like nature's way of tricking you so that you can do it again.
That's why, as men, let me stop before I get us men in trouble.
Say what you got. I
ain't got no.
Say what you got. As men, what?
Look, I'm gonna speak for me. I ain't gonna say as men, fellas. I'm not putting you in that category. This is my comments and my comments only. Okay.
What's your comment?
They be like this. Look, they had a baby. I ain't never, ever, ever having no more babies ever again.
Yep. After each
and
one.
And then like a year after they get through the terrible twos, this same creature that just told you not too long ago that they don't want no more babies. You driving one day in a car, and they say something like, I miss when they was a baby.
Yeah.
I think I want another one.
Exactly.
And then you look at them like, you need help. This woman crazy.
Listen.
But then you do it again, though. You do it again, right?
Exactly. So. Look, E. Warren 3 says the end result is worth it, though. And it is.
Always.
It really is worth it.
Yes.
Because when you look at them, you're like, oh, this is my baby. And then you're like, and then when they get to the point where you can you go get me something to eat? Can you do this? And can you do that?
Like my 2 oldest be making me breakfast sometimes.
Yeah.
Look at me blushing.
Or like they'll, like yesterday at open play, I was like, oh, my back hurts. And then my eldest son, he starts like rubbing my back. I was like, oh, you're so sweet.
Those little things making you feel like a big
baby.
old pump, man. Like, you get all soft.
And besides, listen, my motto is, you want to have more than one. I want to have more than one kid.
Play the numbers.
Why? It is the law of numbers because it's like I'm insuring my future.
You
I'm
know what?
insuring my future.
You know what?
I want to make sure that when I get old, that one out of these 4 of them going to take care of me, or at least 2 out of them.
We diversifying our assets.
That's right. I'm diversifying my portfolio.
Multiple streams, just in case one stream don't work right.
Yeah.
The other streams can help with that.
I joke all the time. My first, that's our son. He would provide me with financial support, hands down. I know he got me. When it comes to being emotional, nurturing.
He ain't that one.
Yeah.
He ain't that one. He
I'll
ain't coming to change your
I'll
pampers.
probably rot somewhere.
Yeah, he's not the tender type.
So what do? We threw another stock in there.
Spin the wheel again.
We threw another stock in there.
Yep.
Right.
Diversify the investment. Another stream of income.
So we got the second one, which was a girl.
Yep.
And she's amazing. Like,
and she's tender and she be doing all that lovey. You know how little girls make daddies like little punks, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of hard for you, no matter how hard of a dude you are. They give you that face and
what I love
just
about
suck
her
all the toughness out you.
Is that even though she's very, willing to give, at the same time, I feel bad and I don't want to take advantage of that. Because I can see sometimes she's tired and she'll still volunteer to do something for me. And I'm like, no, it's okay. I got it.
She'll keep giving. You got to be like, no, it's all right, Tata. Go relax.
So now we said, you know what? Let's not put all the burden on her. Let's try for a third time. And then we got another boy. Okay, well, he's little, so we don't know what he's going to do yet. Then we're like, okay, well, just in case.
See, I like to balance things out. I like to balance
just
things
in case he's like the first one and only give financial support, which is great because now we have two of them that's going to help out financially if I need. I doubt I'll need it, but whatever. Then, okay, now we have a fourth one and, a blessing to us, it's another girl. So hopefully, she's caring and she's, nurturing.
Yes.
So that now the first girl has backup.
Yes.
What is it you call somebody when you have a job and then you have somebody that comes in and like works with you? They kind of like backs you up. It's not a backup, but well, now she has
replacement.
Yeah, now when she's off shift, then she has someone else to take over the shift. So it's not
shift
too
work.
Right. So it's not too much on one person because it
That's
can be
really
hard.
What it is.
I look at my mother and my grandmother. My grandmother has dementia. And before my aunts came here to live, it was my mother by herself for the first, 10 years? Taking care of. Yeah, it was about 10 years.
Wow.
My mother's been doing it by herself. Like, that's a lot of work.
It is.
So now that her other sisters are here, now it's the three of them, and at one point it was four of them that was here.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to diversify their portfolio.
Spread the load out. Spread that load out.
Yeah, and so now one person is not exhausted or feel, overworked.
Okay.
So yeah.
Look, this is it. Like it takes a village, man. It takes a village mindset in business, in personal life.
Mm-hmm.
Many can get done what one can't.
Right.
It's just that simple. So sometimes you got to sacrifice. But before we wrap it up, I just want to touch on the fact that natural birthing. There's nothing taboo about that.
No, it's a beautiful thing.
It's very beautiful, and you should have the support that you want by your side. If you're going through, childbirth is very traumatic. Mm-hmm. Any woman that had kids, I don't know. I'm a man. I went through a couple surgeries, but I was good. It was nothing like that.
No, not at all.
Like, you guys are superheroes, you know what I mean? So.
And that's why Mother's Day is so special.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Without us, there'll be no life. Without our sacrifice, our crazy sacrifice.
Wait. You're going to start this at the end of the show now. You're going to go jab me like that when I'm trying to wrap it up.
You can wrap it up. I was just adding in my 2 cents.
Go ahead, get from my back while I go ahead and tell you about this. Okay? Look, for real, go out there, support a black business.
Yes.
We spend so much money as consumers. I'm not asking you to change your life drastically. Mm-hmm. All I'm asking you to do is go out there between this week and next week and go out there and do another business. And yes, I agree, E. Warren. It's Mother's Day all year round. It's actually Father's Day all year round. I shout out to my fathers too,
because Father's Day all day.
We're so underappreciated.
Yes.
And they try to diminish who we are in our community.
Yes.
I agree. But we are here.
You guys are
here.
important.
We're gonna continue to be here, and our queens are gonna know that we're here, and our offspring gonna know that we're here.
Yeah.
And we're gonna keep pulling this thing together.
And that's why it's important to support our community. Because as a community now, once your community is strong, you also build in the family structure to make that stronger as well. That's a whole nother conversation, but y'all get my point.
Yes.
If not, we'll explain on another episode.
Build self, build family, build community.
Yes.
Be strong. And we will speak to you guys next week.
Yes.
Not next week.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
We'll be back on the 7th.
Yes. Melanated Universe.
Yes.
Enjoy.
Thank you.